Ha ha! Hey, what is going on, crypto people? In the booming XRP ecosystem, a flood of new projects are arriving at the doorstep of the community, but most are showing up empty handed. No real products, no meaningful partnerships, and zero established ties to the XRP faithful. There's one that's a little different, except for Flare Network, which is bringing genuine innovation, utility, and strong community alignment to the table. In this video, we'll dive into why these opportunities are failing to impress and how Flare is setting a new standard and what that means for the future of XRP and XRP5. If you've invested in XRP or are curious about the blockchain projects that actually deliver, you won't want to miss this breakdown. Let's get into it. It's happy Saturday. Isn't it Saturday? It's happy Saturday to each and every one. If you want an exciting time to be an early adopter in this new asset class, that it's a digital asset space. You and I, my friends, we're playing a game that 99.99% of the masses, yeah, they don't even know is being played. And we are winning. We are winning, fam. We are winning. What's going on, Pookie Pookie? How are you, my friend? Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you checking in. Again, happy Saturday. Yeah, a lot of projects showing up to the community, but what are they offering? Feels like to me they've come to take. They come here for extractive purposes, not to be a value add. That's what it feels like to me. I could call out the projects if you want, but that's what it feels like to me. Who are these people? Who are these people? I'm not sure how you can go to Midas.app, click the docs, make sure you figure out how to find the final terms agreement for the projects. Make sure you read the legal terms and conditions and not take pause to what you're reading. But people aren't doing that. What people are doing is going by someone else on X promoting a thing and then going by that instead of doing their own homework and doing their due diligence. It's a lot of nice people. That's a lot of nice people in the digital asset space. That doesn't mean they're bringing a great product. There's a lot of people in the crypto space with financial backgrounds. That doesn't mean they're bringing a great product. And what I mean by great is, I mean great for the end user. Who's the end user? It's the XRP holder. Who's the end user? It's the asset holders. I've been on it on X because I think, I know that it's time for people to stop being quiet and speak up. It's time for, in my opinion, someone's got to speak up. If we got to, is it, what is it? Is it Joshua 1:8? No, that's my favorite one. Is it Isaiah 6:8? Maybe it's Isaiah 6:8. Well, send me. I think it's Isaiah 6:8. Let me make sure. You know that one, Pookie Pookie? Let me look it up. I think it is. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, come on already. Speak up. Don't be so naive. You got to get the game. You got to get the game right now. Let me see. Is it Isaiah 6:8, brother crypto? I think it is. Isaiah 6:8. See if that's it. Yes, that's it. In the ancient scripture, it says, God asks, who shall I send and who will go for us? And the prophet Isaiah responds, here am I. Send me. That's that's good stuff right there. Ancient scripture. Like I just like come on. This is 2025. People are showing up to the XR community, to the XRPL empty handed, here to take and not be a value add, not deliver an awesome product. Awesome product. That's what's going on. No one's saying anything because they want metrics that mean nada. TVL metrics. What does that ultimately really mean? The way we go up and to the right of the network adoption curve for the XRPL is what quality projects that add value to the end user. Who is the end user again? It's the XRP holder. Flare Network, in my view, is the only one that's delivered on that. And has delivered in a significant way, by the way. But brother crypto's in the building. What is good, CJ? What's good with you, bro? What's good with you, bro? Did you see the interview? No, we're gonna go over that interview. We're gonna go over that together, brother crypto. Did you see the interview of Hugo and Paul Bear and Straight Fire? That's what I've heard. I only listened like a couple seconds of it. Stephen Williams, good morning, sir. Class in session. What's good, bro? Good morning to you. King Christopher Hutchison, Malachi 456. I am. I am. Prepare for Jesus Christ to return. I hear you, my friend. Thank you for sharing that scripture. Hi, Joe. What's good? What's going on, my guy? Life is great right now. Life is great. But I just wanted to speak to that. Projects are showing up into the community at a feverish pitch in an effort to, in my opinion, extract from this community. In other words, you know what they say? They're coming after your crypto. The challenge is, are you prepared? It's not on that project coming to extract. It's on you to be prepared and aware that it is extractive in nature. It's up to you to get that. It's up to you to understand that. It really is. It's on you to understand it. Why I'm wondering, people talking about yield and stuff. What are you doing when you take that XRP, you hop on that app there, you click a box that says you're eligible to participate? What kind of KYC is that? Anyhow, you click a box that says you're able to participate, and you can connect your wallet. And look, you can give up your, I'm telling you, high yield investment platforms. Boy. Anyway, you can connect your wallet and you're good. You can sell your valuable asset for a representation of that asset in the form of a note, security, debt instrument. And you probably bought it at a high NAV or INAV, and you don't even know what that is. You thought you were just trading XRP for some representation of it. I mean, if that asset is valuable to you, XRP, take caution with it. Read the docs. And if you don't understand, keep asking. Here's what I'm seeing. The people on X answering questions are the people promoting the product, not the people who are the issuer of the product. I wonder why that is. The people who are answering questions about that product are interested in metrics and not the end user. There's no way you could have the end user in mind and promote that product. No way. That's the pros game at that MXRP. It's the pros game with their professional tooling that are winning. Not you. Prove me wrong. prove me that I'm wrong. I'll say I was wrong. Show me that you are winning. Tell me that you could redeem Saturday today at 4, 5, 6, 7 in the afternoon. And what's your price? Can you share what the fees are? Tell me that you got more XRP than when you entered. Show it to me. Products, projects showing up to the space empty handed, unlike Flair, who showed up with an incentive to participate and learn more about the project. Most of these guys showed up empty handed. I'm telling you, looking to extract. Preacher's in the building. What's going on, Preacher? Hey, from the UK. What's good, my friend? How are you? How are things in the UK? It seems a little troubling over there. How are you making out, my guy? So, you understand what I'm saying? Look, I'm, just keeping it a buck with you. That's all. It's time for people to stand up for their holders. We don't own the blockchain. It's time that we speak up more for the holder of the asset instead of trying to compete on a chain level that we don't own. And I know it's been a long time. It's been 12, 13 years. The XOPL is not where it should be in terms of feature sets that allow for the thing that most people in the XRP community want to do. How is it that we can talk about SparkDex and Kinetic and Enosis Global more than we can talk about any project on the XRPL? And the XRPL has been around since 2012. How is that? I think it best just to wait. Let's see if the RippleX dev team comes up with some type of light smart contract capability. Let's see if they deliver. Why rush? Why rush these projects into the ecosystem? What's going on, Pookie Pookie? You didn't get the notification. What? That's not great. What do you mean you didn't get the notification? It looks like you showed up first to the stream, bro. Looks like you showed up straight to the stream. All right, so let's get into this interview with Paul Barron and Hugo Filion. Hugo said some interesting stuff. Let's go over it together. I don't know what is going on with this thing. Is it me or is this thing? Is it me? I don't know. It seems a little odd here. Good. That's great news to hear. Brother Crypto says the good thing is I think a lot of XRP holders are smart. I have seen quite a few have been around since I have 2016 getting an F asset. That's awesome. It's great to hear. Like going around talking about these numbers and these TVLs and some holder did something, bro. What is the product? What's the product and how does it benefit the end user? To me, anyhow, yeah, this to me, um, retail, that product is not great for retail. It's not great for the end user, which is the XRP holder. It may be great for the issuer. It may be great for the professional, like the market makers. It's going to be awesome for them because they got the tooling and expertise to buy cheaps and sell high because they understand that structure. You don't understand that structure. And the hoodwink is, oh, it's on a DEX and it's peer to peer. That's the hoodwink. That's the bamboozle. That's the sleight of hand. It's on the DEX and it's peer to peer. What does that mean? Ultimately, what does that really mean? What is that product on the exchange, on the decentralized exchange? It's a security debt instrument. Think of it like a note. And regular retail is going around handling it. Retail, security, note, debt instrument. What do you think the United States regulators are going to have to say about that in time? Like, what do you think? How many times do you think people will end up coming short on the XRP that they thought they were going to get before that becomes an issue? Anyhow, let's get into this interview. If you got any questions, reach out. I'll answer them for you. All right, let's go. Let's go to this interview, man. Brother Crypto, let's go to this interview. Hugo was killing the game over here. So I just wanted to share this. Paul Barron was reading this in this live stream. I just want to share this real quick. F assets. What is the F asset system? F assets turn non-smart contract enabled cryptocurrencies like XRP, Bitcoin, and Doge into assets that can be used in DeFi. Listen to this statement and ask yourself, can you say that about the other projects? I see a project out here talking about non-custodial and peer-to-peer with the product MXRP that is a security. Textbook definition of a security instrument. If you had to bet all of your crypto that the people on the decentralized exchange are accredited investors or non-accredited, which one would you choose? FSS turned non-smart contract enabled cryptocurrencies like XRP, Bitcoin, and Doge into assets that can be used in DeFi securely, scalably, and with full custody retained. You can't say that when you go onto Midas.app. You can't say it. EU region, in my view, what I'm seeing from the EU region regulators over there is that they're waiting for the ticking time bomb to explode so that they can say, see, this is why we need a CBDC. That's what the way I see it. And it doesn't have to be this project. It could be some other one, but that's what I feel like is going on. There's a reason why stuff is being done over there. Did you read the legal terms where it says that this thing operates without authority or oversight? And you're marketing a security instrument and it's operating without oversight? Dangerous. F Assets V1.2 is now live on Flare mainnet, starting with FXRP. But my challenge to you is you go and discover that yourself. You go and find that out yourself. You go through the documents after document after document yourself. Your assets are worth it. They're worth that effort. They're worth that time. They're worth that energy. They're worth that due diligence. Let's take a listen to Paul and him. Let's start from the beginning. All right. We'll start from the beginning.
All right. So here we go. Another episode of the XRP pod. Welcome in, everybody. And of course, as you can see, we've got Hugo coming in from Flare. Great. And you're a highly requested guest on this show, Hugo. So thanks for.
Oh, shoot. Hold on a second. Pookie, I forgot to share with sound. Goodness gracious. I know you guys are going to say that. All right. Now it's sharing with sound.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, let's get into a little bit
All right, so here we are on another episode of the XRP Pod. Welcome in, everybody. And of course, as you can see, we've got Hugo coming in from Flare. Great, and you're a highly requested guest on this show, Hugo. So thanks for coming in today. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, let's get into
Twi
a little bit about
twice in
obviously the
short
big
succession.
news yesterday, which has been going on, and that is the launch of FXRP and the whole evolution of where you guys have been building, and now we have F assets out there. Give me a little bit of, first of all, how did the launch go? What were you expecting out of it, and where do you think it goes from here?
So the launch went really well. We've been planning it obviously for a very long time. Flair's been building it for five years at this point. We were fairly sure that the open audit would come off fine because we've done so much work on it, and indeed it did, and that allowed us to launch basically immediately that open audit finished. So we still got a cap on the amount that can be minted at the moment.
Right.
We're raising those caps weekly, really because we want to be as safe and as sensible as we can be with effectively what is other people's money.
Yeah.
But the launch went really well. We hit the cap within 4 hours, which is the fastest, and that I understand, that any XRP derived product has grown.
The fastest in any XRP derived product has grown. 5 million XRP, 5 million units, 5 million in less than 4 hours. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. In a non custodial manner. Pretty cool.
Faster than any of the others that we've seen out there. So from my perspective, it was unbelievably exciting, the culmination of years of work, and it's amazing to have the team at Flare that we have that has been able to pull this off. So I'm delighted. Thank you.
Just for those who are new and maybe new to understanding how non-smart contract assets work, that's kind of the combination, and I think the nature of what Flare was built for. And you guys have something on your website that I think everybody should read if you're brand new to XRP or other assets out there that are non-smart contract enabled. This is a very good explanation of what a F asset system is, turning non-smart contract enabled cryptocurrencies like XRP, Bitcoin, Doge into assets that can be used on DeFi. And you guys have probably started to play around on DeFi and understand how that works. When you kind of compare this to what is, because you guys of course kind of tout the whole idea of an over collateralized approach, which is different than mostly wrapped tokens like a wrapped Bitcoin. Explain that a little bit further and why this is better.
Yeah, so we wanted to build effectively a bridge that allows people to move these assets that cannot be locked on another chain, and respond to a smart contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be quite inventive with the way that you create the system that enables it to be secured. So if you look at like a wrapped asset, traditionally like wrapped Bitcoin being a canonical example, you send your Bitcoin to a custodian, and you get like a wrapped version out on the other side. That's basically TradFi.
Yeah.
We wanted to build something. It's TradFi but unlicensed, right? Which
Mm-hmm.
is the bit that I don't like. We wanted to build something that was purely, a system.
TradFi that's unlicensed. It's interesting. Interesting. People are doing this XRP to MXRP thing and don't know who the custodian is of that XRP. Don't know essentially that it's been a sell. Don't know who's the custodian. Don't know whether or not it can be rehypothecated. Don't know whether or not it's written that both the issuer and the custodian cannot rehypothecate it. I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen a clause written that says that they can't do that. Nothing. I haven't seen it. Is that written somewhere? I mean, how valuable is your XRP to you, really?
We built the F assets, which has a very specific structure. We will be moving and we can discuss this when we get onto Flare's roadmap, but we will be moving something called F assets V2, which it again retains the decentralization of the F assets. In fact, you could argue it's even more decentralized, but it won't require collateral in the same way.
Okay.
Because it'll be handled entirely by trusted execution environments. And we can cover that in a minute if that's of interest. But this particular system uses a system of agents who have put up 2.7 times at least the collateral in order to enable a minting. We also have something called a core vault to relieve some of the collateral requirements that can only be accessed by agents. So they can send XRP to that vault, and they can pull XRP back from that vault. And that allows them to effectively offload, especially in times of high volatility, some of that XRP position, so that they don't have to get liquidated against it.
All right, so that brings up a lot of good points, and kind of back to the conservative nature you guys are taking. 5 million FXRP was the cap in the first week. What is the plan for rolling this out further? I know institutional, I was looking on your Twitter account, institutional almost, I think, didn't even participate in this one. So this was all traditional XRP enthusiasts.
We were absolutely, we were shocked. I actually didn't think we would hit the cap like that quickly, but we did. So, next week we'll put the cap up, I think, to 10 million XRP.
Okay.
Week after that to 20. The week after that to 35, then to 50, then to 70 million FXRP by around the 29th of October. So we intend to raise the caps quickly, but we just want to be, it's obviously been live on Songbird for a while, but a system takes a while to get working on a network. We just want to be really careful with the launch.
So obviously, the concern, I think, when you look at DeFi in general, people would look at exploits. Flare, especially FXRP, has undergone several different audits. When you look at the challenges that kind of have hit the market in terms of bridge exploits specifically, are you confident about how you guys have built this that we won't see those kind of issues occur?
One can never say never. That's just the
Right.
nature of the game. I mean, even blockchains themselves, even without bridges, they can stop operating. We saw that with Solana several times, and we've seen it with XRP once or twice. So unfortunately, code is a messy business. That said, we have taken every possible precaution and done everything by the book to the letter. We've had multiple audits. We're even going to have another audit of the F assets before we go unlimited cap, which is why we're raising the cap slowly. We have defensive capabilities with regards to hiring Hypernative to monitor not just the F assets, but all of Flare's DeFi ecosystem. They are a 24/7 AI-driven exploit kind of finder. So they can notify you as soon as they see an exploit.
That's good.
And we've got an emergency button on the F assets, which is, if we see an exploit, we can shut it down. And in fact, there was an exploit not in the F assets, but on one of the decentralized applications on Flare built by another party in the summer. And they notified us and those developers immediately. And in fact, the exploit ended up being not just unprofitable for the person trying to do the exploit, but profitable for the protocol that was trying to be exploited. So, we don't just do audits. We don't just try to code well. We also have active management of the ecosystem through partners who work with us to keep the ecosystem secure.
Yeah. Hugo, let's talk about, good to hear this because I think that's something that we haven't seen in the market in general. I think you guys, your cautious nature, I think it is a credit to kind of how Flare has grown. So kudos to you guys on the approach. And that kind of goes into this next question, which is really about manipulation. We know that manipulation is occurring in the market. And if you look at manipulation in general, one of the things that I notice as I study Flare, is the reliance on the Flare's time series oracle. So, and then the data connector. So, can you explain how these protocols kind of work together to keep the peg and prevent manipulation? How does that work? Give me kind of a little bit under the hood there.
Yeah, sure. So one of the big challenges of building Flare, and one of the reasons it's taken us a long time, was the first thing we thought we needed to build, and I think we were right on this, was a data system. Flare, we call Flare the network for data. And ultimately, one of the things that scares us about DeFi on other blockchains is that they're very reliant on oracles. And those oracles are external to the network. So you've got this really secure network that has, let's say, lots of staking. Ethereum,
Yeah.
for example, it has a large amount of money staked. So it's quite decentralized. But in reality, the majority of the value being transacted on that chain is being transacted in relation to an oracle signal, which has maybe 20 providers providing prices. I don't think, like, we never thought that that was a sufficient way to actually conduct business. So we built the oracles directly into Flare themselves.
Okay.
The Flare validators don't just provide the network with consensus, they also provide the network with data. And that data is price data in the FTSO. So all 100 of our validators contribute to that price, and there's a sophisticated algorithm that then derives that price once they've contributed. And then we have a second oracle, which is for state. And that state can be something like what has happened on the XRP ledger at this particular transaction, or
Right.
it can be the Bitcoin or Solana or Ethereum or Sui or whichever blockchain you care about. But it can also be, what is the state of this database that I want to access in Web 2? So it can also go out and get data from the Federal Reserve, any public data. It can effectively be proven onto Flare using that mechanism. So those two things are baked into the network. When you are staking to an entity that is participating in both validation, the usual consensus validation, but
Right.
also data provision. And we need full agreement of the network in order for a price or a piece of data to be finalized on the network. So to our mind, this is a much more secure and decentralized way of handling data, and therefore enabling transactions to be less manipulable.
Yeah, which is the key is to try to obviously stay away from the manipulation. You mentioned earlier independent agents in terms of how they play a role in the minting process. How do these agents, or how are they incentivized for them to act, upright and honest?
So they have more money at stake than the money they hold, right?
Okay,
Straightforwardly, right? So it's like, how do you secure people you don't know? Well, they've got 3 times the money at stake than the money they have.
that usually does it.
So, for every $100 of XRP that they get sent through the bridge, they have
Yeah.
$300 at stake. And so therefore there's no incentive for them to, and the majority of that stake, at least 1.5 times, is stablecoins.
Right.
So it's not like that stake is hugely volatile in value. So they've got more at stake than they stand to gain were they to be malicious.
The last time I had you on, we were talking about the liquid staking side with Firelight. And kind of the big picture of what it could potentially be. And I think some of the data that we've talked about has been billions, potentially, if not tens of billions, of XRP to work, being put to work. First of all, are you still confident in those kinds of expectations coming out of liquid staking, or do you think that maybe is even undershooting where the market could go?
I mean, I think, the market, the total addressable market for XRP staking is the total value of XRP. So, I don't see a reason
Wow.
why that you wouldn't want to stake, all the XRP in existence. Like, there's no reason not to get yield on it.
Yeah.
That said, I think a reasonable expectation is what I said before, which is, I genuinely think we could get to 5 billion by the middle of 2026
Yeah.
with a good tailwind, of course.
Mhm.
But I know the parties we're talking to. I also know the protocols we're building. I know, like, for instance, to give you a really good example, we are working with Zaman, which is one of the major wallets on the
Yep.
XRP ledger, to create a smart account that enables you to stake directly from XRP ledger into Firelight on Flare without
Okay.
you having to touch the bridge. You don't have to interact with the bridge. You don't have to transact on Flare. You can just stake directly through what we call a smart account, through Zaman, and that's in progress. I don't know when it will be.
So that's the first for me. I saw the Flare smart account from Quantic. Let me stop the share here real quick. Where is my thing here? Okay, let's do this. All right, there we go. So that's news to me. I hadn't heard about that from Zaman. Zaman? So, yeah, that's interesting. And so that's going to be appealing to uh, a lot of XRP holders for sure. I am a big fan of We Say When. I think that he's someone who wants to build it the right way. I think he's a guy who has weathered the storm of um, minimal support from a guy who's bringing so much to the ecosystem. He's weathered that storm. He didn't walk away. He didn't run away. And it's for me, it's really, really exciting. I mean, really, really exciting that he's working together with the team at Flare Networks to bring this about. Because a lot of people, look, look, in the end, a lot of people will be. There's going to be a lot of XRP holders going to be excited about that thing there, right? Not they don't have to hop on Flare. I think that's going to be good for I'm chain I'm chain agnostic. I'm asset driven. I want the asset holder is my main thing, right? And so there's going to be some people who first and foremost is the asset holder, right? And then, the chain. So there's going to be some people excited about being able to do that, use the Xamarin Wallet to be able to do that. You can be certain. And I think it's awesome that, that they're working together with Flare, just like the Easy A people are working together with Flare. They were just at the hackathon in Boston, right? It's not a competition. This is about the asset holder, in my view. So, in my view, that's what it's about. So that was really good. Yeah, 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 yeah. Songbird needs to start flight. There is so much momentum. Yeah, I hear you. Oh, okay. Gotcha, Pookie Pookie. Appreciate you guys checking in. Crypto King says, thanks for checking in, Crypto King. When will we be able to get FXRP? Hmm. Hmm. When will we be able to get FXRP? Oh, you mean since you maybe didn't get a chance to mint um, on the first go around here? I think it's going to be Monday, but I can't. Please don't hold me to that. I don't know. I just know he said next week, but I don't know the date. Joseph Richardson checked in. What about MXRP? What do you mean? What about MXRP? I'm not a fan of that product, if that's what you're asking. Who else checked in? Yeah, that's it. So that's interesting. Working with Xamarin Wallet for something called Flash Smart Accounts, and they're going to get it done. Vite, it's a genius. The team up with Flare are awesome, they're going to get that gun together, and that'll be a great value add to who? The holder, the asset holder, right? Begin with the end in mind, right? And everything you do, begin with the end user in mind, not metrics, not yield, the end user. That's a good recipe for success. Begin with the end user in mind. That's what Flair has done. That's what Flair has done. Did I miss Keyless checking in? I see somebody saying, "What up, Keyless?" Did I miss Keyless? Did I miss the lady of crypto? I don't see her in here. What's Flair's benefits over Midas? What is Flair's benefit over Midas? Awesome. Interesting. So let me do this. Hold on one second. Let me see some. My thing is messing up. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. This thing is just jumping around. So for one, for me, MXRP is number one is security. It's a debt instrument, right? MXRP is right. Yield is contractual, right? The risk are the issuer and the custodian, plus the redemption mode. There's fees, apparent KYC for sure, right? So you got a custodial slant security wrapper. Yield is contractual. Risks are the issuer and the custodian, plus the redemption mode, whichever one you might be able to get into. I did find out in one of the MXRP final terms that the redemption can be in XRP or USD based on capacity. That is still alarming for me that they use that phrase. I think they changed the terminology from liquid staking token to liquid yield token. That was a smart move. FXRP, however, is non-custodial. Okay. It's over collateralized. The risk are the agent's collateral. It's Oracle, Enshrine oracles, state proof with liquidation rules, code, right? That's a big, big, big difference, right? Non-custodial and custodial, big differences. Who is the custodian of that XRP that you just, in essence, just sold? Who is the custodian? What contractual agreements or arrangements do you have with them? What contractual arrangements or agreements does Midas have with that custodian? Where is the non-rehypothecation clause? Have you seen it? I have not seen one. That's just to name a couple of things, my friend. Yeah, you got to be careful though. Getting the FXRP on an exchange, Peter Summers, is generally going to be a little higher price, right? Right, cap's been reached. You got to be careful of that. Much better, in my view. You'll get a better price on that FXRP by minting it. What's going on, Rachel W? How are you, miss? I don't know. Peter Summers asked, what stablecoin is the Gnosis going to use for the CDP, the collateralized deposition? Is it going to be RLUSD? Doubtful. I think I'm hearing the term US dollar stable, but I doubt it's going to be RLUSD. I doubt that it's going to be that either. I doubt that is going to be that. Oh, let me take a break here. Let me do a little public service announcement for you guys. My laptop, I mean my mouse. No, come on, baby, come on. Hold on. I got some mechanical issues here. Hold on. All right, I'm back. That's the mechanical issues I gotta fix. That's my yeah, for sure. Definitely better than making it get a better price because of because of the cap being reached, and the FXRP price can go up, right? So it'd be better to get the fairer price by just minting it. So yeah, so just want to let you guys know that. I'm trying to get this mouse to cooperate here. Let's see. Yeah, all right. So let me do a little PSA here. I want to share this with you guys. Just real quick, share this. So real quick, an American bought an average home in Southern California. Nothing fancy. The purchase price was $653,000. They put down 20%, which was $131,000 down. $131,000 down to avoid paying PMI. The monthly principal payment is $1,913. The monthly interest payment is $2,285. Monthly taxes is $955. Our total monthly payment is $5,154 a month for just a regular normal house. $5,154. That is crazy. That is really crazy. There's something wrong. The system is broke. There is something wrong. Yeah. The interest rate is 5.25%. The old hoodwink interest rate. And this is 15 years. Home ownership is being eliminated in America. Taxes and interest alone on this payment of $3,241. Taxes and interest alone. Because they don't. The reason being is people don't understand what it is that they're signing, what it is that they're actually getting into. Right? The American dream, if you will, it's been overtaken and corrupted to the bank's favor. You got to understand. They hire the best of the lawyers, the best of the smart people, best of the smart financial people, and they say, put something together legally so that we can extract more value from the people. That's what's being done. They did it with credit cards. They've done it with homes. They're doing it with cars. That's the hoodwink and bamboozle. And what's being sold to the American people is your payment. You can afford the payment, but look at that awesome interest rate. You guys know I've been partnered up with the Money Max, the guys over at Money Max, for a reason, because it's a debt and interest eliminator technology. It's awesome because we flip the script on them. Flip the script on them. Just people are still buying homes and dealing with interest the old way. There's a new way and a better way where you can potentially save 75% on that interest. You got real estate investors up to their eyeballs and above their eyeballs and interest debt that they can't manage any longer. It's cray-cray. Real estate investing used to be a really, really good deal. Now all real estate investors, potentially the only thing they really say is, oh, but wait, I know I'm totally illiquid, but look at what this stuff is valued at. All I got to do is go put myself in further debt and borrow against it. Keeps recycling themselves on the hamster wheel of that debt. So anyway, I told you, what is it? On the first, I'm going to hook up with some one of my guys from the Money Match. We're going to talk for a little bit for about 30 minutes, get to know each other and possibly answer some questions from you guys. But it'll be a good introduction for you guys. The first is going to happen. I have something on my, did I put it in the link for this video? I think I did. Or you can check the link and just click there. Just go register. I'll get that information so I can make sure that you did attend. Let me find that. Thought I had it up. Yep, name, email, phone number, simple stuff. Let me show you the link. I think I did this one in the beginning of the description. In the last video, I did it in the end of the description. Here it is right here. So it's right after thanks for watching the channel. Right there. Debt and interest eliminator technology. To learn more, click here. Just click on that link. It's going to take you here to the Money Max thing. Just put your information in here. I'll get it. And we're going to be going live. We're going to be talking. We're going to be hanging out. Get some questions answered. Learn about the difference between a loan and a line of credit. Learn about what the difference between the interest rate on a home loan is as opposed to a car loan. Learn the differences on how interest is calculated on credit cards. All of these things, that kind of knowledge and information has been kept away from us intentionally. Okay. So you can click that, learn that. And yeah, come hang out with us. You know how we do interviews? We're going to hang out. Yes, you have to register. You got to register. Again, that's so I can collect the information to see you attended so that I can know who really has interest about learning more. Appreciate, huh? Yeah. And also you get a reminder of when it's going to happen on the 1st at 6 p.m. Central Time. No, 7 Eastern. That's right, Peter Summers. Even weekly payments on a 30-year term knock off only 13 years. Yeah. It's not great. It's just a bad system. The system has been, I tell people all the time, you don't have a debt problem. You don't have an income problem. You have an interest problem. Remember, think about it. Think about the bamboozle that has been for now decades, I could say decades now, been pushed on us. What's been pushed on us? The interest rate. Look at this rate I got. It's 4%. It's 3%. It's 4%. It's 5%. But it ain't that. That's the challenge, right? And same thing with the credit cards. People don't know how the credit cards are actually, the interest is actually calculated. It's important that we know these things. And the reason why I love the Money Max, because it's technology that comes up with the best strategies for me. I'm not great at math. So I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that. So in any case, but let's go back to this interview and check out this guy, Hugo Smart. Did you guys know about the Zaman thing? The little partnership coming together? I did not know. I did not know about that. All right. Guys, do me a favor and hit that like button. Appreciate that. Look, the title of this video is there for a reason. A lot of people showing up to the XRP community empty-handed, coming to extract instead of being a value add. Those are the facts, and they are in dispute. Or is it indisputable? From a few good men, right? So Hugo and the team years ago showed up with an incentive, remember, to participate, to become fully engaged. Tell me about the project that's been here for 5 years, day in and day out. 5 years, adding value, giving to the community. Right? Not showing up with a yield product or something to take away your XRP. I read in the very, very beginning about F assets. Non-custodial. Right? In the very beginning, I read that in the video. Non-custodial. Tell me about the project that came here, that you have a relationship with, that you can say have been here day in and day out for the last 5 years. Tell me about that project. I asked this several months ago. I said, who is this Doppler Finance? Who are they? Who are they? Can you tell me who they are? Can you tell me who are the people from Stroh Finance? Who are they? What did they show up with when they showed up to the doorstep of the XRP community? Or did they come here to take under some guise of yield? There's a difference between passive income and yield and active yield. Different things. Completely different. I'll take my active strategies over passive income any day. Why? Because I leveled up my skill set. The only ones who would not do that and would prefer someone else to manage it for them, would prefer for someone else to do it for them, because they haven't leveled up their skill set. I thought the asset that you held was valuable. I thought you had an opportunity to create wealth and generational wealth with that. Why would you not level up your skill set? I thought crypto was about trustless. That's what I thought.
Delivered, but that's in progress. And Zaman has, as I understand it, roughly 4 billion XRP that is held through the Zaman wallet. So, that's about $12 billion, just that. And I think, there's no reason that we wouldn't be able to pick up a reasonable amount of the assets that are used in Zaman.
Yeah, for sure. That'll be a big development once that rolls out. So thanks for that
Yes,
tidbit.
it will.
All right. So, and when you're talking about yields, right now it's ranging anywhere between 4 and 7%. However, with the Fed rate cuts potentially rolling out into next year, looks like we're going to get 2 more for this year. That could set the market into a different position. Do you think that's going to have any kind of bearing on how yields are constructed over in DeFi?
I mean, if anything, I think it could make it more valuable to stake non-stablecoin assets.
Okay.
Because the yield that will be offered for obviously for stablecoin assets will be lower by default because of the reduced, you won't have to offer as much yield because you're not competing with treasuries.
Right.
But XRP is not competing with treasuries, right? So if anything, I think for non-stablecoin assets, it'll be kind of a benefit.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it would be. I think the question right now is how do investors kind of discern, which assets are they going to stake? When you look at long-term staking and what those yields represent, it'll be interesting to see how the XRP community responds to this. Vivo Power committed, what was it, 100 million in XRP to you guys? Okay, so the ecosystem. So that's institutional partnerships. You also have Uphold holding 1.8 to 2 billion XRP out there. They're integrating FXRP.
Mhm.
How important is that for the ecosystem?
Yes. Internet, man, come on. Look at this.
Especially for partnerships like, especially from the aspect like Firelight? I'm kind of curious.
Oh, absolutely critical. I mean, Vivo and Uphold are the ones that we've mentioned and have been mentioned publicly.
Yeah.
We've been working with a number of other very, very large institutions, which are all household names in crypto. I can't mention them because we're not there yet. But like the appetite is
but
very,
it's close though, right, Hugo?
It's close. The appetite is very, very high because everyone out there wants to hold on to their XRP holders. You're talking about multiple billions sitting at exchanges. They do not want to lose that business, and so they want to work with people that help them retain those users of that exchange.
No doubt. No doubt.
And we've been very successful there, not least because of the partner that we picked in Centura for building Firelight, because they already work with most of the major exchanges to help them manage their DeFi programs. And that was one of the key reasons we picked Centura to build Firelight.
Yeah. That's this could be, I think, one of the milestone for the Ripple ecosystem in general. When you look at just the scale of this, you projected what you were saying around 5 billion XRP by mid 2026. That's about the same amount that Ripple holds in their hot wallet. So
in their hot wallet, yes.
Yeah, about 5 billion. So what would need to happen for that kind of adoption to take place?
Well, we'd have to see real yields in Firelight. We'd have to see a really buzzing ecosystem on Flare within DeFi for loans, the CDP, collateralized debt position, which allows you to create a stablecoin from XRP. It just allows you to mint effectively a dollar-based stablecoin collateralized by XRP. I think this is going to be huge because I think there's a lot of demand for it. And I love the idea of being able to buy RLUSD with a stablecoin that you've minted from your XRP, or even borrow RLUSD and then put that RLUSD to work to get yield, right? So Enosis are building that CDP. They've just done a deal with Liquidity to do what's known as a friendly fork, an approved licensed fork of Liquidity V2, which is a major CDP protocol on Ethereum networks, L1 and L2s. So I'm really bullish on CDPs. I'm really bullish on obviously kinetic lending and neo lending protocols. I'm bullish on yield markets, and we also just had Flamix, which allows you to trade perps using any token on Flare as collateral. So of course, being able to trade perps with your FXRP as collateral is quite an exciting thing. So I think as the amount of FXRP in the ecosystem increases, I think all of our DeFi protocols will benefit. And I think that then becomes very, synchronous, whereby the more capital there is in the system, the more capital it attracts.
Yeah. Do you think that we could see, because XRP has, it's historically been seen as a, primary payment rail. Do you think we could see the combination of what you're doing with Firelight FXRP kind of changing the narrative toward XRP being a yield-bearing DeFi asset? In other words, just a shift in the dynamic.
I mean, I really hope so, right? Because that's really beneficial for XRP holders. It's really, it means that more people want to hold the token, right? That's
hello. Hugo must been listening to our live streams, right? It's hugely beneficial to the XRP holder. All right, fam. I want to share some of that, which is that sounded like RUSD and Enosis in the same breath to me. No, he said, Peter, he said, mint a stable coin and then go buy RLUSD with that stable coin. So yes, it's very, very similar to DAI. Think of the Maker DAI thing now called Sky. Kind of the same situation. But the most important thing, again, I've said it once, I'll say it 2,000 times. Flare Networks is further along in the journey of providing value to the XRP holder than any other project out there. They got a nice ecosystem set up, a model set up rather, for FLR holders. For sure, right. Most XRP holders are FLR holders. Most FLR holders are XRP holders. But it is about the end user. The end user is the asset holder, not the blockchain. And so, and proof of that is Flare Network is working with Xamin, the XRPL, and Flare Layer 1 EVM to put something together that's valuable, that's a value add to the holder. Most important thing. Most important thing, for sure. All right, fam, I'm going to hop off here. I think dinner is just about ready. So I think, again, I'll say this again, that I think that it's important now that we begin to speak up about projects coming into the space that are looking to extract value instead of being a value add and dancing around things like peer-to-peer and non-custodial, but not bringing that to the table. This newest project, again, for me, it signals a lot of red flags, lots of red flags. This Midas thing, lots of red flags to me. This is not to say anything about the people at Midas or the people at Strobe or the people at Doppler. I don't know them. But when I look at the product, it's not a great look, especially the Midas one. It's not a great look. So anyone can kind of put a DeFi thing together. Anyone can kind of put a thing with yield and, this and cool. It is not the same as FXRP, and it will not be the same as FXRP or FSX version 2. It will not be even remotely close. This is why the institutions are lining up to hop over on Flare, because they get it. So it's important for the holder to win. It's important for the holder to win. Without the holder, what does the ecosystem do? It's important for the holders to win here, for sure. What's up, Layla? Hi, fam. I'm going to hop off here. I appreciate you guys checking in. Do me a favor and hit that like button on the way out. Look, there's docs that you can check out, okay? You can, don't rely on my deal. But do me a favor, don't rely on some other dude on X either. Do your own due diligence. The docs are available. All the docs are available for you to read. If I found them, Lord knows anyone else can find them, okay? There's docs, right? There's prospectus. There's the docs here. You can go to Midas.app here. You can click on docs here, okay? You can click on the docs there. U.S. participants are not afforded the opportunity to learn about iNav and NAV, which is what the MXRP product is structured around. Hopefully, it's available to the European folks. Hopefully. This says liquid yield token. That's better than saying liquid staking token, which has been promoted on X. It is not a liquid staking token. But you can go here. You can go to issuance and redemption. You can learn. You can go to the transparency. A lot of stuff out there that went under had a bunch of transparency and proof of reserves. It's about the structure. It's about the product. Read the legal documents. Read the risk disclaimer. Learn more. All right, I gotta hop on here. I'm getting that look like it's time to go. time to go. All right. So I'm going to hop off here. I appreciate you guys. Do me a favor, hit that like button on the way out if you didn't get a chance to do so on the way in. That'd be awesome. I'm going to end this live stream like I do all my live streams and remind you guys of this. Old money, yeah, they don't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this, perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.